In a world inundated by technology, businesses face the problem of providing adequate and timely support. Surely, building out knowledge bases or ticketing systems can help, but creating documentation takes time, and businesses have finite amount of resources. And in this ever-changing landscape of technological change, it's impossible to support the sheer breadth of devices and platforms that exist out there. And that's where working smarter, not harder, is crucial. By integrating artificial intelligence into your existing platform, businesses can now offer robust, just-in-time solutions at scale. Now, to do this with traditional software development, it could take you months and cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. But Glide can do it at a fraction of the cost in a fraction amount of time. And what's more is that Glide can seamlessly integrate OpenAI into your existing platform with minimal setup. And so now we can take our existing inventory database and transform it into a powerful help desk companion app. Are you ready to learn how this works? Let's take a look. So I'm starting off with an existing inventory database. This database has employees, inventory of devices, and then assignments. Who owns which device. I also have an existing knowledge base where I have certain solutions to certain known problems. But as you can see, my knowledge base content is pretty thin, and I just don't have the resources to be able to create and generate lots of documentation on all of the devices within inside of my inventory. And so here's where I'm going to harness the power of artificial intelligence to make this happen for me. So what I've done is created a request sheet. And the premise is that as somebody goes to make a request for help that they need, it'll call OpenAI and provide an adequate solution. Now, to make this happen, we're going to create a form that will allow our users to fill out information based upon what device they have and what assistance they need. And then we'll let OpenAI do the rest of the heavy lifting. So in our layout, I created a new screen with a button that opens up a new screen with a form container. And this form prompts the user to fill out information about the device and what issue that they're facing. For example, maybe they're having a hard time connecting to one of their devices. And so now we could ask which device. And the app is smart enough to know which devices are within that user's possession based upon the assignments table. So these are just the devices that are owned by this particular user. And then what they're trying to connect to. Let's say a printer. And we can also know, well, what printers we have available in our inventory. Now, when we hit submit, we want to make sure this record gets added to our requests table, but we also want OpenAI to take a look at this request and generate a solution for us. That means that on this submit button, we're going to go ahead and place a new action. So on the form container itself, under the after submit action, what we're going to do is we're going to take that response and we're going to send a message to ChatGPT. And we also want ChatGPT with history. That way we can have some back and forth about that particular solution. And so we're telling ChatGPT that they are a help desk technician and that they are going to interpret issues and requests. And they're going to reply with a clear, concise, and easy to follow instruction set. Now the message that they're going to get is this content, and then we have a session ID, so we have some history there. We can adjust the model and do any adjustments to the model itself, and then the result is going to land in this response column. Now, what is this content? This content is actually going to come from a prompt, and this prompt is generated through a template column. So you'll find that often in OpenAI, that we're going to generate the prompt using a template column and then feed that template into OpenAI so that way it knows the context of our request. Now, yes, we do want ChatGPT to come up with a nice solution for us, but if we already have a solution in our knowledge base, we want to pull that as well. So not only are we going to ask ChatGPT for its solution, but we're also going to answer a question about our knowledge base table to see if there's a relevant answer and display that as well as the preferred response. And so the end effect is that when we submit our answer here, we get taken to a new screen with a message that it's analyzing our request. It knows I want to connect my iMac to this printer. And in just a few seconds, we see that we now have a solution. And the solution not only tells us how to connect to our printer, but also how to print the document itself. Now, since there are no relevant knowledge-based solutions here, we see that we're not getting a preferred answer. Otherwise, it would have displayed up on top. Now, what if this is the incorrect answer, or I still need some additional help? One of the other issues that most IT help desks face is that they're trying to interpret the issue that's submitted on behalf of the user. And they have to figure out exactly what's going on before they can provide an adequate solution. So what we can do is we can also leverage OpenAI to craft a well-documented issue based upon the user's submission, and then send that through an integration through email or Slack or Microsoft Teams or so forth. Let's see how that works. So let's say this gets me part of the way, but I still have additional questions. Now I can either mark this as a solution, or I can mark that I need further assistance. And if I mark further assistance, it opens up a new form here that's going to get submitted to a tickets table. And here I have some additional information, right, where I already have the topic and the tag device and so forth, but here I can add additional context. For example, I have an issue with my Mac. I'm trying to connect to the printer, but for whatever reason, the printer is not displaying in my list of available printers, and then hit submit. And then what's nice is that this gets sent. And now inside of my tickets table, I see I have a new submission with that topic and the description here. But we want it formatted in a certain way. And so we can use OpenAI to generate a new summary. And inside of this summary, we can see that we have the user, the device, the issue, and the explanation in a nice, concise, easy to read format for our help desk technician. And this information gets sent on to Slack so that they can see it inside of their own messaging platform. And just like before, the way that this works is that we have a template. The template is a description, and this description is what gets sent to the summary column. So whereas before we used an action, in this case we're using a column that's just reading this template description template column and outputting a response. And we're specifying how we want our output to be formatted. So to recap, we took our existing inventory database and transformed it into this help desk companion app that we can provide to our users to give them just-in-time learning. Now, at traditional software development, this would have taken months to build, but we were actually able to do this with Glide in less than a day. And that's going from concept to publishing it and putting it inside of our users' hands. If you want to learn how I built this app, check out the description below where I'll include a link to the step-by-step tutorial. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave me a comment below or reach out to me on Twitter @rpetito. And as always, thanks for watching.